Good morning. Heather's Homestead here. This is the orchard video I had promised in one of my earlier videos. I have a ton to say, so I guess you guys are going to have to be patient with this video. I fear that it will be long. There's so many things that we learned while putting in our orchard. These first, it's hard to see because it's, you guys can probably see, but I'm squinting. From here down to about there is our first orchard. We only put in maybe 10 trees or so the first time, 3 years ago. And we made a lot of mistakes as we went. We didn't do a lot of research. We just got all excited about putting fruit trees in, and we didn't do all of the research that we should have. So in the second orchard, we corrected some of the mistakes that we had done with the first. So hopefully you all will be able to learn through our mistakes. It's all a learning process. We're all striving for the same thing here. So let me take you on an orchard walk and show you what we have going on. The orchard starts here behind these grapes, very close to the blackberries. The first tree, it's hard to even see. It's so bright out here for me. The first tree right here is 10 foot apart from these blackberries, and you're thinking, that's awfully close. Well, these are dwarf trees. They will get 8 foot tall by 8 foot total around, so 4 foot in all direction. So they're not going to come out too awfully far. And this is what a tree looks like when you first order it. This tree is brand new to us this year. Every year we just order more and try to find spots for it. It's a Honeycrisp dwarf apple tree from Starks Brothers. Starks Brothers is my favorite nursery to order from. I have ordered from Miller's Nursery and from Starks Brothers Nursery. I've had 4 or 5 trees die from Miller's and 0 from Starks. Starks Brothers, nothing has ever died yet. So I'm happy with them. But anyhow, this is how a tree will come to you, minus all of the leaves. It would not be leafed out at all. It will just be a piece of wood. It looks just like this. And here is the rootstock that makes this tree dwarf. And here's the graft union that they graft this tree onto. So this rootstock needs to be above the ground. This part, it needs to be above the ground by 1 inch, but even like 3 to 4 is better. A lot of ours are not above the ground this much because sometimes they start real low right where the roots are starting. So it's hard to get the graft above the ground, but the roots under the ground at safety, at a safe level. So they'll come to you like this, and they will start, they're in a dormant state. They're shipped in the spring or in the fall when it's cool, and they're not leafed out so that they can come out of their dormancy and start growing as normal. You should mulch around them. As you heard in my earlier videos, I'm still waiting for mulch. I need mulch for my raspberries. I need mulch for a couple of trees, and I need mulch for the rest of the blueberry area down under my pine trees I showed you. This apple tree is a gala. I like the way that the branching comes off of this. They start nice and low. I like the way this tree looks good to me. This tree's in good shape. But Miller's, these are from Miller's. I got a Gala and a Brayburn together. They sell 2 of them together because they're good pollinators with one another, and they both fruit at different times of the year in their season. And they were selling them together as a special from Miller's Nursery. This is a Brayburn, and as you can see, we flowered last week, and I don't know that we'll get any fruit off of this. This is this tree's second year in. It went in last year around this time, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with this tree. I'm unsure. This one has a pretty good branch structure as well. Pretty level branching. I like it. It looks good to me. Now this tree, this is a Gala as well. Looks much different, doesn't it? It looks bushy and spindly and tall. Now, they do have spindle trees that get tall like that and branch their and fruit their fruit very close to that central leader. And this looks like that. I don't know why it looks like that. I'm not sure if they sent me the wrong thing or if it's just an immature tree, if it's younger and it just hasn't branched out yet. I don't know, but I mean, and it's not that it needs to be opened up and pulled out. Just in general, they're very compact the way they're growing. That's the Gala from Miller's Nursery. Back up to show you a comparison. This is the other Gala. You tell me. Much different. I think they're different trees, quite honestly. I mean, it's possible. Nobody's perfect. So these are new. This is the new part of the nursery we put in just last year. These 4. And we put them so close together, they're maybe 8 feet apart. But they're dwarfs. They're not going to get very big. And any tree, honestly, any tree, you can dictate the size by your pruning, your fall pruning and your summer pruning. If you have a standard tree, by accident you got it and you want to keep that baby small, you can. You just clip it in the fall time to as tall as your hands and your clippers will go. My husband does it at around 8 to 10 foot. And then when they flush out a bunch of new growth in the summertime, you clip them back very hard again, and they'll be okay. They'll be just fine. They're pretty close to the grapevines, maybe 20 feet. And my husband was talking to me about, do you think that they're going to shade out the grapevines? But this is probably only going to double in size, these trees. So I think they'll be okay. Moving on, this is the first tree of our nursery, our first orchard. Why am I saying nursery? I don't know why I'm saying that. I was thinking, okay, because I was talking about the nurseries, Miller's Nursery and Stark's Brothers. I was wondering why I kept saying that. This is the first tree of our original orchard. It is a nectarine, Maricrest nectarine from Miller's Nursery. My husband has kept it at 8 to 10 foot tall. It did get fruit last year. It did okay. The branch structure is nice. You want to keep the center. You want to keep a bowl in the center. You see how these limbs are? You want to keep a bowl in the center of your nectarines and your peaches for good airflow. You want to be able to have a bird fly through with no issue. But we did develop problems with all of our peach and nectarine trees, and I'll show you what that is. It's right here. Do you see this? Here's some more examples. Show you some more of it just starting on a leaf. This is leaf curl. Look at this. Leaf curl. And what it is, it's a fungus that is capable of overwintering even in very cold temperatures, that will do this to your leaves. It will make your tree drop fruit and drop your leaves. And if it continues year after year, your tree can die, because every year the fungus spreads to more and more leaves, and as your leaves fall off your tree, you have no way of, your tree has no way of getting energy for itself from the sun, because you have no leaves. No photosynthesis can happen. So my husband is very much into organic gardening and he wants to spray nothing, absolutely nothing on this orchard. And we ordered some copper spray. Copper is what you can put on it in the fall around Super Bowl, and then again a second time before you get any growth around Valentine's Day is how you can remember it. You will put a copper spray on your trees, and I believe there's another treatment, but I'm unsure of what that's called right now. But my husband didn't want to use anything. But after this tree, a lot of these leaves are being affected with it again. I don't want to compromise the health of this tree just to say that we didn't spray anything on it. I mean, spray a tree and have a tree, or don't spray it and lose the whole thing. And I think after we spray it once, we'll see how it does for one season, and we won't do it again, because maybe if we can get the fungus under control, it won't happen again. But on a positive note on these trees, here you go. Nectarines, they're all over. There's nectarines all over this tree. They will need to be thinned out. This tree did not have anything like this last year. It had maybe one or two on year number 3. This is year number 4 growing season, and there's probably 100 nectarines on this tree. Another thing I want to show you, if you look at the ground, you see these divots all the way. Here's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. My husband is, like I told you, he's into that Back to Eden gardening method. It's on the internet. It's a free video. This guy named Paul, he will explain everything to you, and it all makes perfect sense. But my husband decided to deep mulch around all these trees. We've always mulched, but he put very deep mulch, and in those little holes he's got onions and garlic planted around every one of our trees, which is a very smart idea. Good for him. We had a Bing cherry tree from Miller's Brothers here. It died. Like I told you, I had several trees from them die. So we reordered a tree from Stark's Brothers. We've had better luck with them. It's a Van sweet cherry. And this is how it comes to you. It looks like a stick, and you're like, oh, what is, like $27, $28 for this? Really? It's just a stick. But look, it's been in the ground for about 3 weeks, and all of these are going to become limbs. And when your trees come to you, well, they look dead, but they don't look kneecapped like this. We cut this to 3 foot tall, and I'll explain to you why. When they come to you, they normally look like that Gala apple, the second apple that I showed you. I was comparing the 2 apples, the one that looks spindly and the one that's more branched out. They usually look like that branched out one, just with no leaves on it. Apple trees you don't want to cut down. You want to keep that central leader, that central growth in the center. That's how you want them to grow. But every other tree you want to cut at knee height. Right at knee height. And what that does is when you make that cut, it's going to force that tree to put out limbs that are lower, that you will be able to get the fruit from easier. The kids will be able to climb in this tree easier. If you want to see what I'm talking about, let me show you an example. Here's a tree. This was our first our first orchard, remember. We did not cut. We have one branch that's at 3 foot, but all the rest, 3.5, 4 foot high is when the branching starts. Well, as that tree continues to grow, you're going to be reaching well over your head to get the fruit off of that tree. So learn from my mistake, and watch a lot of YouTube videos. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You cut them at the knee to encourage that growth, those growths at the bottom to shoot out, so you'll have nice low limbs. Unless you want like a tree that's massive, but I want to be able to pick the fruit with my kids. I want to be able to reach everything easily. I don't want to get these guys any taller than this peach tree. This peach tree is about 10 foot, and that's it. It's not going to be allowed to get any bigger. What's the point? You know, we can't reach it. It's just, there's no point in it. Also, if you look here, while we're at it, you see how the trees are planted zigzag. They're planted zigzag. They're only about 12 to 15 foot apart. This is an excellent way to be able to fit as many trees as you possibly can in a small area. From here to that fence line is all we own, and on this side of the driveway, and this side of the driveway gets full sun that'll come up right over top that barn. It gets full sun all day until around 6 at night, and for like 2 hours it doesn't have full sun. If we had done a straight line straight down the middle of this orchard, they would have had to been 12 to 15 foot apart and only at one straight line, and we would have had half the amount of trees that we could fit in this spot. But by zigzagging them back and forth, you can fit a lot more trees in a smaller amount of area. And when they flush out, I mean, they'll be close to touching, but that doesn't bother me at all. We're hoping to eventually mulch all of this so it won't need to be mowed at all. Here's the next tree I want to show you. And basically when we did this, we did groupings of 3. 3 cherries, 3 peaches, 3 plums, 3 apples. That's how we did this. This tree, look at it. It looks like it's been hacked up by somebody. That somebody would be me. The branching on this tree, there was this branch and this branch that are around 3.5 foot. But all of the rest of the branching, I mean, it started way up here at 4.5 foot easy. And like I said, we screwed up with this. The branching was just way, way too high. As the tree grows, we weren't going to be able to even reach anything. So I gingerly made this cut. Didn't know if it was going to work out for us or not because it was I need to clean it up some so nothing gets in there. But I hacked this when my husband was at work and he came home and, "What did you do?" I said, "Well, I took a risk. Try to bring this tree back down to size and get some limbs to come out, and look what happens. This one shot out, this one shot out, and that one, which is the perfect situation of where we want them. We want them on all sides. Got one limb on all sides of this tree now, and it's done exactly what I want it to do. So if you want your trees to branch out, you're going to need to kneecap them. This one's way higher than kneecap because I didn't want to cut these 2 branches off because they were established. But this one's probably, gosh, this one's hip height for sure. This is the next tree. This is a peach tree. It's full. Look at the peaches. They're everywhere. I mean, this tree is packed. Last year, it maybe had 20 peaches in it. And this year, my goodness, every ½ inch is a peach. They're everywhere. This is a beautiful tree. This has wonderful structure. It's got the center opened in a bowl shape so that you can get good airflow and ripening in the center. You want to see what's bad about this tree? Look at that. It breaks my heart. Look at that leaf curl. And it all comes out of dormancy. That fungus comes out of dormancy in the spring when all of the rains start coming down, and it just starts affecting the tree and afflicting new leaves. It's horrible. Look, there's a spot on this leaf. Look, it's just starting out. It spreads. We should have sprayed. And this will create an issue with fruit drop as well because it's stressing the tree out to lose these leaves. Here's the next peach tree. This one actually has a label. Some of my labels fell off. This is a champion peach from Miller's Nursery. These are nice sized already. As you can see, to my first knuckle of my thumb, these are pretty good sized peaches. This tree is doing well. I do not see any leaf curl on this tree at all. But I do see some onions coming up around the base. Good job, honey. Glad he did that. He's always thinking of how we can get more food in a smaller space. Here's the next peach tree. I don't have a label for this, but it's got a lot of peaches on it as well. But look at this. Look at this little limb coming out. This tiny little limb. It's very thin. I mean, it's half the size, probably a quarter of the size of a pencil, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 peaches on this tiny little thing. Don't let things get the best of you. Don't leave those peaches on there. It's just going to break your limb. Those are all going to have to get plucked off. I'm going to let them get a little bit bigger so I can feed them to the pigs, so somebody is benefiting from them. But those are for sure going to come off of there. That'll just break the limb. There's no point in letting that develop and stress the tree and stress the limb. I mean, I want a ton of food just like everybody else, but it's not worth hurting the tree. You got to let it mature more. Down here, I'm pretty sure this is garlic we got going on that my husband put in there. Proud of him for coming up with new ways of planting things. This is a pear tree. Look at the leaves. I hope that's normal. All three of my pear trees, the leaves look different. These are reddish and curled in, and this is a little guy. I don't know why he's so slow to grow. I don't know. Don't know why he's so slow to grow, but we'll see what happens. I don't know if this one had died and this was a replacement. That's another thing to tell you. Miller's Nursery and Starks Brothers, if you order from them and anything that you have ordered from them dies within the first year, they'll replace it for free. You might have to pay shipping, but they'll replace it for you. This is what is this? This is a Bartlett pear. See, I have it tied down with these logs. If I don't tie it down, the limbs will shoot right back up into a very upright position, which is not what we want. We don't want them growing up like a spindle, like that tree at the very beginning. I showed you how it wasn't limbed out very much. That's how this one was growing too, and we just needed to separate it. Again, we did not... Oh, we did cut this one. Look. That one was cut. And by doing that at the kneecap, look at the branching system that started. One started right next to the cut out and then run right below. This has got some good branch structure now. Now this pear tree, again, what I was telling you about how high look how high up the first set of branches is. I mean, what a mistake we made. Should have researched. That's 4 foot before the branches even start. So this one will be difficult to pick once it gets taller, I suppose, but we'll try to keep up with it. This tree flowered this year, but I don't think any fruit. I think it's too immature. I've read that pear trees can take 5 years. Another saying for you guys. I read somewhere that the best time to plant your orchard is 10 years ago. The next best time to plant your orchard is today. So get off your rumps, guys, and get that orchard in. I know it takes a while, but before you know it, you'll be in the fruit. Just think about if you had done it years ago. You'd already be providing food for your family and your friends. Healthy, organic fruit that did not have to travel hundreds of miles to get to you. This is the way to go. Be more self-sufficient. Take control of how your food is raised. I don't know what else to say. How it gets to you, how it's grown. Here's one that was cut at the kneecap, and the branch structure. Look at the branch structure. It's nice and low. I guess you guys get the point of what I'm trying to say here. I'll try to stop saying that. This is, I think this is an apple tree. No, this is the tree that I don't know what it is. I have it labeled inside the house. That brings me to my next point. When you plot out your orchard, try to plot out like how many square feet apart and how long of a distance. And again, the zigzag, you can fit a ton more trees than if you went in a straight line. Because, I mean, this isn't very wide from driveway to, see, I can almost fit it all in the screen from that post to the driveway on this side of the property. But you can fit a lot. But as you're planning it out and you go ahead and order the things that you're going to order, look at several things. Look at when they ripen so that you can have apples that ripen in September, October, November. So you have 3 months worth of ripening instead of having 3 apple trees that all ripen the middle of September. You're going to be so overwhelmed with apples, and you're going to get sick of the same old, same old. So that's my something that I learned when we bought this first orchard. We just bought what we thought. Oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. We didn't look at when they ripened. I mean, that's a big thing. We should have looked at when they ripened. This apple tree is absolutely beautiful. This is me and my husband's favorite tree. The structure of the branches is beautiful. You have a nice central leader. That's what that means. You have a branch that comes up through the center, and you have a bunch of scaffold branches coming out from the sides. And this tree, for the first time, has apples on it. If I can find some, my daughter found. There you go. This is the first year we've had apples on this, so we will be excited to try these. Don't have a label for that apple tree either. I think I'm going to look on Amazon and see if I can find some fruit tree labels that are plastic like these that they send from the nursery that are a little bit tougher, that'll hold up to the weather and not rip off as the tree grows. A little more secure. And try to label these trees again. But as you plot out, as I was saying earlier, as you plot out the amount of square feet that you need, and after you order your plants, when you're putting them in, as your husband's digging or as you're digging, one of you sit down with a piece of paper and map out what you have and where you have it. So you can just simply look at that in your garden book. You can also map out your garden for the year, what variety of blueberries that you have. Like with these blueberries over here, each one I know which one, what breed they are, when they ripen, how big the blueberries are. I have it all written down because they're all different, and I want to know which blueberries I'm to go to first and what's going to have the best flavor at what time of year. So do the same thing with your with your fruit trees. As you plant them, map it out. Write the name of it. Bing cherry, got it from Miller's Nursery. Planted it on this date. It's supposed to ripen at this date. It tastes like this, or the fruit is best for that. Put as much information as you can on a piece of paper and put that in your gardening book and keep up on it so that you can know what's coming next and what's ripening next. It's a good thing to do. We did that not until this year, so these have been in for 3 years, and as we started losing these labels, we started writing them down. We'd look back through and, oh, well, there's 3 apples and only 2 are labeled. And we got these 3 because I kept all the invoices too, to know exactly if we ever sell our house, I'll just hand that over to the people so they'll know when it was planted, what it is. But if you keep that invoice that you get from the nursery and you know that you have, a Macintosh and a Red Delicious, you know that you're missing your Northern Spy, if your tag comes off. So you'll easily be able to figure out which apple variety you're missing if you're missing a tag, and write them in your paper. This one's pulled down with logs as well to spread this tree out because all of the limbs were growing very upright. We want to spread them out, and it seems to be working pretty good. Takes a couple of months for the tree to get accustomed to being spread and start doing it on its own. This right here just went in this year. It's a Chinese Chinese apricot from Miller's Nursery. This is a replacement, I believe, for the first one. And if you can see, this one, it's kind of growing buckwild, but it was cut there. And it's branching everywhere. It really encourages new growth when you cut it. Don't be scared to prune. Don't be scared to cut them back. Here's a fine example of a tree that needs to be spread out with string and wood or branch spreaders or whatever. You can use a brick, you can use a piece of wood or a stake, whatever you want to use. We use these because it's much easier just to pick them up and fling them into the mulch while we mow around it and then put them back out instead of stakes that you would have to take out of the ground, and physically take out and then, hammer back into the ground, or stepping posts that you would have to put back into the ground. So that's why we use the wood. Can you see those birds over there getting themselves a dust bath? It's kind of a mud bath because it was raining earlier today. So this tray, back to this tray, it needs to be spread out. This is an Asian pear, and this is vigorous growth. Vigorous growth. This went in last year, and it has shot up. It has shot up. Here's another Asian pear. And here's another thing to think about when you're putting your orchard in. How much do Asian pears cost in the grocery store? Have you ever looked into that? Asian pears are about $5 for 2 of them. $2.50 a piece for just 1 of them. That's crazy. Think about that. Honeycrisp, they're $3.50 to $3.99 a pound for Honeycrisp apples. Think about that. Plant things that are going to be the most expensive in the store, that's going to bring you the most amount of money. If you're going to sell them at the farmer's market or at your fruit stand, you'll still be able to discount them compared to the grocery store, but you'll be making a pretty penny on them as well. If not into selling, you'll be getting the fruit that's too expensive for you to buy at the grocery store. I mean, I love Honeycrisp, but I'm not spending $4 a pound, because 2 apples can equal a pound. I mean, same with the Asian pears, $2.50 for 1. It's crazy. So we got 2 Asian pears here. That one that needs to be spread, and this one. I hope they produce soon. Here is a peach tree, I believe. Let's look. A dwarf Saturn peach tree. This one, look at it. Peach leaf curl.